to CSS tutorial. In this tutorial, I'll discuss the full course CSS, whereby we'll discuss various modules. And the first module will discuss the introduction part. After the introduction, we'll discuss how to insert images. We'll discuss the forwards. We'll discuss how you can insert the links. We can insert how you can insert the borders, margin, list, padding, animations, scroll bars, position, float and clear, and many more. So just be ready to learn. So CSS in full course, it means cascading style sheet. It is mostly used when you're creating your website or web pages. It's just used for styling your web content. All right, so to make it look more beautiful, to look more attractive, and also to make it responsive such that it will appear good in all devices. Now, first of all, so to run your CSS code, so you need to write your HTML. So you can either use any of the common text editors. On my side, I'm using Visual Studio Code. So you can either use any other Sublime Text. You can use either Notepad or any other text editor. All right. Now, to get started with the CSS, first of all, you need now to write these basic tags for HTML, whereby you have your opening and closing tags for HTML. So these are basically the tags that are used in HTML, and in between the bodies you can see that I've written the head tags and also the paragraph tag, right? The paragraph tag. So if you come back to your browser here and you refresh, you see that you have now this is now your heading. This is your heading now in your browser. Now then we want now to see how you can style, or you can style this your content. This is your web page. So basically CSS and HTML are used hand in hand, so you can't just use one at a time. So they are used hand in hand, whereby you will learn how you can create a very beautiful and responsive websites. Right now, at the end, you'll be able to create for your own a very beautiful website. So just watch every second of this video and it will be helpful to you. First of all, you can insert either style that you can insert the colors, you can insert the font sizes, you can arrange your content either to the left, right, or to the center, or justify. You can make other like text transform and many more. There are many styles. So for the reference, please check the description part. And now at this point now we want to start advantages for CSS, for learning CSS. So first of all, it saves time. Like the same CSS code can be used in various HTML documents. They are therefore saving time wasted in writing the same code in each file, right? It also is several device compatibility. So CSS is compatible in many devices, as you can use it in PCs, Android phones, and among other devices. Superior styles. CSS has many attributes compared to HTML, right? So you'll see that in HTML you have some of the formatting that you do there, but in CSS you have many attributes that you can use to style your web pages. Easy to maintain. You just need to. So the other advantages that you can just need to change the style in your CSS code, and all the appropriate changes will be applied to your entire HTML file automatically. All right, so it's just a symbol to maintain. So CSS has various syntax. So we'll write the syntax for CSS. We have the selector. We'll have the selector. All right, this is the selector now. Then you'll have the curly braces. Those are curly braces. Then wherever you'll have a property, you'll have a property. Then the value. Then the value. All right. Now, okay, let's make space here for clarity. So this is selector, then this is a property, and this is a value. So the selector is assigned to tags such as the heading, the body, the paragraph tag, the footer, among any other tags that you use. The property represents the attributes such as color, font size, font family, text align, text transform, and many other attributes that we'll be learning with time. All right. Then for the value is the value that is assigned to the property. If it is text color, then you'll have what? Green, right? Then finally, remember to insert a semicolon. Remember to insert a semicolon. For instance, here you'll have a style. You'll have a style. Let's have a style there. Okay. Then for this style, you'll have now the color. Then you'll have red. So this is what you call inline CSS. This is what you call inline CSS. Then here you have a semicolon. This is what you call as inline semicolon. So will not have a curly brace at this point. So I'll show you where it applies. All right. Now, at this point, if you come back to here, the refresh, you see that this your heading has changed to red. All right. So that's how you apply CSS. And if you omit any sign like the semicolon there, it shouldn't have. See that it may have, or let's say you remove the colon. You see that there will be effect. All right. Now for that, so you just need to, let's remove this. Now the other thing you want to learn or you need to know is that how you can insert comment, in CSS. All right. Let's say for instance this one you want to write in comment, so you need now to insert a / followed by hashtag. So not hash, this is a star. So then you'll have this sign, then a / all right. So then let's say suppose this one was a style. This was a okay. So this is a CSS. Let's see, is a CSS, right? Then it should be in between. Here. So it should be in between the head tags. All right. So you see that this one appears as a comment. So when you click here and refresh, so it will not be printed out. So when to insert comment is just used when you want to illustrate more about a comment or a section that you want to illustrate, or just a part of the website, right? So when you refresh or when you run your program now, then this one now it would be outputted. All right. So that's how you insert comments. That's how you insert comments in CSS. Okay. Basically, I want to train you, or I want to show you various ways you can include CSS on your HTML file. All right. There are 4 ways. There are only 3 ways, not 4. There are only three ways that you can insert or you can include CSS in your HTML document. All right. Now, the first of all is what you call inline CSS, as we have discussed, as I showed you before. So then this is let's say you want to color. So this is color. Then you'll have gray. All right. Then you'll have now to insert your so this is your semicolon at that point. Okay, now good. If you refresh, you see that this one color has changed to gray. Right, so that's what we call a inline CSS. This just used in line with the paragraph or the tag or just the HTML tag or what you call a section or what you call it. So this is just a heading, so it's just used inline. So from its name is that it's used in line CSS, so it's just in the same line with your HTML file. All right, now the other one is what you call embedded CSS. In this case, you insert a style tag in between the head tags. So at this point, just in between the head tag here and this one. So somewhere there, you can just insert the style tag. So this is style tag. You see, it will have a open tag and a closing tag at the same time. So at this point, you can style your HTML file. For instance, if you want to style P, which is a paragraph, you will now use the curly braces that we were saying, that you'll use a curly brace at this point. Then you can just use the font weight. You can set the font weight to be bold. You can set to be bold. You can use text transform. You can use capitalize or uppercase. So hold the text, it means that first of all it will be in bold and also the text will be all in uppercase. All right, so if you click and refresh, you see that the change is in bold and also in uppercase. So this is what we call embedded CSS, whereby you use it in between the style tag, which are normally inserted in between the head tags of your file. Right, now this is how you do it. You write the P, then at this point this is what you call now the selector, then this is the property, and this is now the value. Right, so anyway, so that's what you call now embedded. So you can have as many style as you wish. So you can insert the text align, you can align it at the center. Let's align it at the center. Let's align it at the center. So this is text align. Right, so if you click here, you see that it has been pushed to the center. Right, now the other one is just you can insert as many attributes as you wish in between the curly braces here. All right, now the other one is what mostly used for clarity, and when you have especially when you have so many code lines, or what you call the lines of code. So it's called external css. Called external css. Right, now the external css, you just create another file with an extension of .css, then using the link element, then you just insert it in between here the editors. Then what you do, this is what you do now to create an external css. You need to create a folder. let's create a folder here at the desktop. So first of all, create a folder. Okay, this is folder now. Then after creating the folder, you can name it a project. You can just let's name it project. Then your HTML file should be here. After that, you just need to come back to your, then you can close this tank, you can close this one. Then after this, you just need to come here, then you click open folder, then you can open this is at the desktop. It's for project. All right, you click select folder, right. Good. You'll have something of this sort whereby this is now your HTML file. Then you'll need now to create a new file. Then you can name it style.css and press enter. So this is now your HTML or your CSS file, right? Then in between here, you'll need now, so you can remove this one. Let's remove this. So this is, so up to this point, I just can also delete this. Okay, not this. No, let's remove this inline CSS. Now you're saying that external CSS, in between here you'll have now your link, rel. Okay, at this point you write style sheet, then you'll have your href, then you'll have style.css. Now this is your file name, your style.css, then you close, right. So you'll have that one, so it will be that way. Then you can just come here and style your HTML file freely. So let's say you want to style the din1, you'll come here on the right, din1, then you can write, let's say color to be what, let's say red, let's say red. All right, so you come back here and refresh. See, the color has changed, to red. So this is basically how you can create an external file. So this one is mostly used when you are writing many lines codes. So you see that it's so clear. You have your HTML file and this single file, then the CSS on that, then you just link them using this code line. So this one, so this is what link rel. So last, just this is how you link your CSS and HTML. All right, now the other thing I want to show you is how you can do what you call how to apply selectors. You see that the selector is basically the tags like the heading, the body, the paragraph, and the many other tags that we may be using. All right, so first of all, you can either have type selectors. Type selectors is what you call, let's say, the heading. This is just an example of a type selector. You can have heading, you can have paragraph, you can have either footer, header, and many more other tags. So the type selectors. So this is how you use a type selector. In between here, we say that you can use as many styles as you wish, just if they are only in between the curly braces, these two braces, right? Now the other one is what you call universal selectors. And the universal selector is denoted by the Okay, let's remove this and then use this is what you call a universal selector. So here you can have margin, which is set to 0. You can have padding. Okay, this is what 0. All right, so let's say for instance this is what padding, and for this universal selector now is just used to apply the style for the whole HTML document, right? So basically it's the changes. It means that, so this one, if there are any padding by default, so it will be removed. So it means that margin by, so this is just setting the default for like the web HTML page, all right? So this one will apply a margin which is 0 and a padding which is 0, like for the whole HTML file. All right, now this is what you call universal selector. It makes changes or just preferred changes to the whole HTML document. Right, now the other one is what you call class selectors. The class selectors. For instance, you can create a class here. You may create a class here, in between here. Let's say you create a class which is what? Let's call it box. Right? Then in between here you can have, this is my box. So this is just a simple class, a box. Now to style your class, which we'll discuss in a later module. For now, you can insert classes in HTML. So you can do this. So you come to a style, then you'll have a full stop, then box. All right, and dot. So before you write or you style your class, so you start with an dot. All right. So this is box. You can apply your changes. You can apply, this is what, let's say the color is what, gray. You can apply the background color to something else, like let's say white smoke, so something of that sort. If you click and refresh, you see that the text color is in green and the background is what? Background is white smoke. You can apply the height. Let's say you apply the height, which is set to 100 px. You can apply the width, which is set to 80 px. Right, pixel. Right, so this is what this is. You see that it has been in this format of a container, something of that sort, and this is your test in there. So that's how you style a class selector, and probably this one will discuss it in depth in its own module, whereby we'll be discussing classes. So the other one is ID selectors. The ID selectors, also ID, you can create your own ID. So let's say this is what, an ID class. Let's call it test. Right, let's call it test. Then this is my own test. So you come back here to your style. Then at this point, to style now your ID, you will use a hash before. then you call it test. All right, then you can style it. You can change the color, you can change the height. So these things are the same. These things are the same. Then insert the screen. So if you click and refresh, this is ID what? So you see that this is ID. Okay, not this way. So you can have what? This is div, then this is div. Sorry for this. So it should be a div. Then ID is what, not class, ID is what we call test. So you click and refresh, you see that the test has changed to green. Now that's how you style your ID. That's how you style your ID selector or ID. Okay. Also the IDs, we'll discuss them later. We'll discuss them later in a special, or let's call it in its own module. So that's what you call ID selectors. So we want to do something else. We call what? Child selectors, whereby you can style a tag inside another tag. For instance, we have body and we also have what? Paragraph here. So you can style body style or body paragraph. So to do that, you need to do this. You can have body, then you can have P, which is paragraph, then you can style, then you can do the color, you can do this text size. So this is, let's say, you can do the font size, which is, can put, let's say, 30 pixel and that up. So this is what. So you see that this is your text. I changed to the red, and also the size has changed to 30 pixel. So this is what you call child selectors. Now the other one we want to do is what you call attribute selectors. Attribute selectors probably are used in a form when you're creating your form. Let's say for instance you're creating a form here. Let's say space here and create a form here below. Yes. Okay. You can have an input type. You can put test. Then this is a name which is given to first name. Then you can class. So this is an input type. Which is basically used in HTML. So when you're creating your form, so this is you can insert your name there when you're creating a form. Later we'll see how you can create a form from scratch. All right. Now this is a input type, what we call attribute selectors, whereby you have now to style. Let's say you want to style this one, okay. Then you can just say input in between here in your style, in your CSS, you can say style. Then you'll have this is type. Then you'll have what? This is test. Right. Now after that, you can have what? Now in between here you can style. You can change the wind. And change the wind to what? Something like 300. Okay, 300 is so big. Let's say 120 pixel. You can change the height to something like 90 pixel. Something of that sort. You can set the border. Okay, let's have this is border. This is border. So you can have one pixel solid, and you can just be in blue. Can be in blue. So you come here and refresh. You see it has changed. The height, it has changed the height. It has changed also the wind, and also the border. The border is in blue. All right. Now that's how you can do what you call attribute selectors, whereby you style a certain type or input type in your form, in your HTML form. All right. So here, let's say it could be something else like password. It could be something else like email. So here you come here and it's just write input type. So this one, put email, test. So something of that. So then your attributes and all the style that you want to apply follows there. All right. Now, the other thing we'll be discussing today is how you can do what you call grouping. You can do grouping. Let's say, for instance, you want to do, or you want to style. Let's say you want to style this one and also this one at the same time, and with the same format and with the same styles. So you just come here, then you style. This is heading 1, separated by comma. You separate with a comma. So you can style either heading 6, you can style something else like footer, you can style something else like header. So you can have as many tags as you wish, just separated by comma. But basically, because for now we have only 2 tags, you can use them. Yeah. Then you can change the color to something like, let's put it to blue. You can have what? The other one is what? The font size, which is put to 45 pixels. Okay. You can also change the text align, where they are aligned to the right. They are aligned to the right. So you click here and refresh. You see that your content is arranged to the left. So this is how it appears. This is how it appears. So it is arranged to the right, and also the color is the same and the size is the same. Right. So that's how you can group. You can group your style selector, or what you call selectors. You can group selectors that way, and you can apply as many style here as you wish. So that's all about introduction to HTML. So next we'll do, here we want to discuss what you call fonts in CSS. And then we'll discuss in various ways using the similar project or the similar files that we were using. We'll discuss the colors, how to insert the background color, the text color. So we'll also discuss fonts, whereby we'll discuss font family, font size, font weight, font style, font variant, among others. We'll also discuss text, whereby we'll discuss text direction, discuss text intent. Then we'll also discuss text align, text shadow, text transform, and many more other styles. Okay, first of all, let's see how you can insert the background color. First of all, let's come here, then also refresh. Let's refresh. So you see that this is now what we have. This is, let's assume this is our HTML file, or this is our HTML file. So we need now to insert the background color. we insert the background color for the heading 1, whereby I'll have background color. This is background color. You can set it to something like, let's say, yellow. This is yellow, so you're setting to yellow. So the background color, you see that is set to yellow. Okay. After that, we'll also need to discuss how you can set the text color. You can change the color of the text here, as we discussed in the various module. So this is color. You can change it to something like red, brown. There are so many colors available in online. Okay, go forward. So right, this we are learning full course. So you see that. Okay, this is what it is. It appears in color red. Now that's all about of text of the colors. You can also insert the border color. You can insert the color of each single world. So this is what the color. This is just basically the color, the background color, and the text color. Right, now the other one, we want to discuss the font, whereby you can change the font size. So let's remove this. So you can change the font size. So the font size is the size of the characters. The size of the characters. You can, this is what? This is, let's say, 28 pixel. So this 28 pixel, you see that this is how it appears, right? Now let's use a very change the font size to something like, let's say, 60 or 58 pixel. All right, let's click and refresh. You see the size is so big. The size is so big, the size of the characters. Now the other one is what you call the font weight. The font weight is, it also makes the fonts to appear in either bold or lighter. So this is the lightness or the darkness of the characters, right? So the font weight, let's say this font weight, you can use bolder, or just set it to something like 900 or something of that sort. So you see, so this is how it appears in 900 there. So let's put it, change it to something else like 100 and see the difference. See the difference. See, you see the difference now. So 900 is more dark. All right, so that's all about font weight. The other one is font family. So this is the family or the style or all the characters will appear, right? So the font families, there are so many font family. So for the families are so many. Can just to discuss them well. So you can have Fedana. So if you change it to Fedana, you see how it appears, right? So this is how it appears. So the other one is what? So you can have as many styles here as you want. So you can have Arial, you can have that sort. You just click and refresh, you see it has changed. So you can change your font family the way you want it to appear. So this, you can have as many font family. You can change your font family as you wish. Now the other one is what you call font style. It makes a font to appear in either italic, normal, or blank. Font style. So font style, you can change the font style. Let's say it changes to italic. Let's change it to italic. So this is how it should appear normally. So this is normal way. So if you change it to italics, you see that it appears in italics. All right. Now the other one is what? You can change it to oblique. You can change it to Normal is just the way the character should appear normally by default. Now the other one is for different. For different. For different, it changes the font either to small caps or normal. Okay, so you can just change it to small caps or normal. So let's say small caps. So you see that it appears in what? So this appears in uppercaps. So this is what. So or you can also change this to something else like normal. You can use it normal. The normal, the way it should appear. The way it should appear. Right. So this is the normal way. So it means that if it was in small caps, so if you use small caps, so see that it changes to uppercase and all appears in this way. So in uppercase. Alright. Now the other one is what we call now the test. We'll now need to discuss the next part, which is the test. The test will discuss the test direction. Okay, let's say for instance, you want this is what? Test direction. This is test. Okay, this is direction. Direction. Then you'll have what? Either right to right. So this one, it means that you can have either left to right or right to left. So you can have left to right. So this is normal way. Or you can just have the other way around, whereby you have right to left. Right to left. Now if you click here, you see that it appears this way. So the test direction left to right or right to left. Now the other one is just test spacing. The test spacing is divided into two. Whereby you'll have what? You'll have word spacing, each word, and also the character, the letter spacing. So the letter spacing. So this is letter spacing. You can just say it's 6 pixels. Let's just say 6 pixels. So you see that the characters or the letters here have separated, or they have a space in between each character and the other. There's 6 pixels, right? So that's what we call letter spacing. You can change it to something else like 10. If you change it to 10, you see the spacing has increased. So you can also change it to something else or bigger, the way you want it to appear. So the other one is the word spacing. Right, the word spacing. The spaces between each word. So this is just a word and this one is a word. Alright, so we are. So see, so if we click and refresh, you see that the difference between here and here, you see the space here, the space here has increased, so that's how you can separate the word and also the letters in your HTML file. Right, now the other one is test alignment, where you arrange your text either to the left to the left, to the center, to the right, or just justify, right? So if you arrange it to left, so by default it's arranged to the left. So if you arrange it to the right, then it appears this way. Then you can either use at the center, you can just set it at the center, or just justify. So I click here, so it appears at the center here, right? Now the other one, then is text decoration. The text decoration here, it allows one to decorate the text such as underline, strike through, blink, overline, or line through. Right, so here you can just either underline your work. You can either underline your work, so you can refresh and see. No, this is normal how it should appear. Now we want it to have text decoration. We'll have text decoration, or you can just have none, right? So if you don't have, you don't want to have any of the, what you call, now text decoration, you can have none, right? You have none here. So you have said that you can use either underline, you underline, you can have line through, dotted, all that. So if you underline, you click underline, you see that you have your statement there, or your ending there is underline. So you can change it to something else, and let's say align through. So the line will pass through the characters. So you see the line passes through the characters. Now the other one, you say that you'll have what? Strike through and line through is the same. So you'll have something else like overline, where a line will appear above the characters. So you see the line has appeared above the characters. Now then you can also have blink. You can also have blink, so that you can also have dotted. You can have dotted. You can have dotted. Okay, this. Okay, dotted. You can have dashed. You can have dashed. So you can also have none. If you insert none, then it means that nothing will appear at that point, or no effect or no style that will be applied on text decoration. Okay, now the other one is what you call now text transform. The text transform, it allows one to change your work or your HTML file or document to either uppercase or just a section to uppercase, lowercase, or just use none, or capitalize, whereby each word will start with a text. Okay, we'll start with the uppercase. So you'll have a text transform. You can either have lowercase, right? So lowercase, as you can see that all word will be in small letters. So you see that all words appears in small letters. Now the other one is just using uppercase. Use a uppercase. So uppercase, at this point, every word appears in uppercase. Then the other one here, you can use capitalize, whereby each first letter of each word start with a capital letter. You see, this one has a capital letter. So that's how you do it. Now that's text transform. So you can have also text shadow, the last one, whereby the text shadow the text will have some shadow as its name suggests, according to the pixel or the specified pixel and color. So you'll have now text shadow. Text shadow, you can set it to something like, let's say 2 pixel, 3 pixel, and 4 pixel. Then you can have blue. So we'll have a shadow just blue. You see now your color or your text now appears in with a shadow. It appears with some shadow here. It appears with some shadow there. So that's all about fonts. That's all about fonts. There are so many other fonts and styles that you can learn in CSS. So you just need to practice the whole according to your requirement and how you need your work or your HTML file to appear. So you just need to practice and keep on practicing. It's more and more and many more other styles in CSS. Now, next we will do you can insert image in CSS. Now using our document here, HTML file and the CSS, external CSS, you'll see how you can insert an HTML. So you see here you have a HTML file, you have a CSS file, and also an image. So you have to create a folder which will have all this. So this is our folder. Then our folder, you see that there's a CSS, you'll see there's also a HTML, then image here over here. So let's get started. Now to learn to create this, you need to come here. In between here, we'll see how you can insert background image. We'll also discuss how you can insert any image in your HTML file. Then we'll also discuss some image properties that we'll be using. Then you'll also see how you can set the width and the height of the image. Okay, nice. Let's get started. To insert the image, then you just need to use image tank. Then you'll have this is what. Then this is image. Okay, now that's how you insert an image. Okay, if you click here on your HTML file here, you see that your image is inserted, right? So your image is inserted at that point. If you want to set it as a background image, then you just need to come here and style. So using the image tank, then you can just write background cover. You can set the background cover. So this on background size, then you can call it cover. All right. So this is now what you call the image properties. The image properties, how you can style your images. So you can set the background image, the position, you can set the attachment, you can set the repeat the image and all that. Right. Now after that you just click and refresh. Right. So the size is cover. Okay. Then you can also set the height, the position. The position you can set it background position. Okay, this is background position. You can set your background position to either center, you can set to you can also set in pixel, whereby you can set 100 pixel. So this one, it means that image will be set 100 pixel from the left side. All right, so you see, so you can also increase your pixel there. This is what you can also set the background attachment. You can also set the background attachment. The background attachment whereby you can either set it to fixed scroll, so you can set it to be fixed. So if you set it to be fixed, background fixed, background attachment, so this is background attachment, so you can set it to fixed scroll. So by the name, as the name suggests, fixed, so it means that that image will be remain fixed in this area even if you scroll down, so it will remain there. Right, now if you put it scroll, so it means that it will scroll actually as you scroll down your HTML file. Now the other one is what you call repeat the image. You can either repeat your image background repeat, what you call background repeat, then you can also set your header repeat Y or repeat hex. So hex, it means that to repeat what? Vertically, right? Or what you call horizontally. And also you can repeat Y, which is vertically. So repeat Y, you can set it to let's say repeat Y. So this is what? Right, so it means that you can repeat horizontally, or you can also repeat the vertically or horizontally, okay, across your HTML file. Now you said that we can also set the size of the image by, let's call it the height. The height here, you can set it to something else like 600 pixels. Then also on the width, you can increase it to something else like 500 pixels. Right, now if you click here and refresh, see that your image has increased the size. Right, now that's how you set your height and the width and all that. Right, now the other one is setting the background image actually. So let's so let's come back here and we'll remove this image at this point. Okay, then we can come here, or not there, to CSS there, then you set body, whereby we'll have now to set background image. You can set the background image, then you can say the URL, so into bracket there you can have your image to JPG. Right, okay, you see, then you need close with double quotes. So this is image, so this is JPG. Right, so this is JPG. Okay, we have JPG there. Come here. Okay, you see that the image has repeated itself horizontally and also vertically. Right, now we can come here and style and see that you can set the background cover. or background size. Actually, this is size. Then you can say curve. Alright. So if you come back and you click refresh, see that it appears as one image. Right? Now repeat. Then you can also set the background position. You can set the background attachment, and also as we have seen. So that's all about how to insert images. You can learn more if you visit our reference materials in the description part. Okay. Let's discuss CSS borders. Here we'll see how you can insert borders around your content. So first of all, before we create borders and learn various ways to insert borders, we can have this one. So this is a paragraph. We can give it a class, which is example. You can give it an example. Then at this point, you can type. You can have your content there. Okay, we can have this. So this is CSS is used for styling. So you can click and refresh to see that this one is produced. So this is now what you want to style. Now possibly I know how. Now you can see how you can insert borders. So this is an example at this point. Then we can insert the border, possibly using this shorthand, whereby you insert the size, the type, and also the color. So you can set it to blue. Right, set it to blue. Okay, if you click and refresh, you see that a border is inserted around your content. Right now, first of all, we are discussing in this module. We are discussing three major parts that are very important when inserting border. We can have first of all the width. We can also have the style. We can also have color, the color of the border. All right. Now at this point, let's start with color. Border color. First of all, you can just use this is border. Then you can set it to something like, let's say 3px. Let's set it to 3px solid. All right. Now then you can set the border color either to the left, to the right, to the top, and also to the bottom. Right. Now let's set the color to the, this is border right color. You can set it to something like green. You can set it to green. Okay. You can set the border. This is border left color. You can set it to black. Okay. You can set border top color. You can set it to something else like blue. Then you can also set the border, which is set to bottom color, which is set to something like, you can set it to red. Right. Now if we do not specify the side, then it's set to default, which is black. All right. Okay, let's click and refresh. You see now you have your black, your blue, your red, and also your green on this side. All right. So that's how you can set border color around your content, So you see, so that's how possibly you can create border color. All right. Now the other one we are learning is what you call border width. Okay. Border width, then you can just remove this and set your this is border style. So this is border style. Border style is solid. Then you can also set your border top width. You can specify the width at the top, to the bottom, to the left, and also to the right. Also, so here you can either set your width into centimeters, into pc. Also, you can set it to VH, or just also set to something like, you can say it is medium, you can say it's large or small, so something of that sort. Right, now here you can say this is what, let's say 5px. Then you can just copy this, and then you will have now to change the size. Okay, sorry, so this is what, this is bottom, and change the bottom. The bottom, you can change it to 2. All right, then you can also set this one. This is right. All right, this is right. Then you can set it to something like medium. All right, then you can also have to the left. You can set it to the left. Then you can say that this is what, let's set it to 1px. Okay, you click and refresh. You see different sizes. You have 1 at this point. You see 5 is bigger. See, this one is 3 medium, and then this is 2 pixel. Right, now that's how possibly you can create or change the width of your border. Then the other one is the border style. Now to set your border style, you can either set your border style to dotted, you can set it to solid, groove, dashed, range, insert. All right, or none or hidden. You can just say that there is no border. You say border none. All right, now for the dotted, it consists of series of dots. For the solid, it indicates one solid line. For the groove, it looks like a curved into the page. Then for the dashed, it means a short series of short lines. Range, it is the opposite of groove. All right, then inside, it makes a box to look like it is embedded in the image. All right, now you now need to create or set the border width. This is border width. Let's set it to something like, okay, let's set it to px. Okay, then at this point you can create your border to the left, to the right, to the top, and also to the bottom. Okay, so this is border right. Okay, this is border right. Style. For the style, you can have at this point is solid. The other one is border left. The style, you can set it to something like dotted. This is the one is border top style. So then this one you say is that is a groove. Then the other one you can just set it to border bottom style. Then you can set it to something like dashed. Right, dashed. So if you click here and click on the roof, you see how it appears. So this is what, the other one is, this one is dotted, this is dashed, this is groove, and also okay. Then okay, for the groove is this one, the above top. This one is what, This one is solid. All right, one continuous line. All right. Now you can also set it to none. Let's say, for instance, you don't want a border at the bottom, so you say none, or just say okay. So if you click here and refresh, you see that there is no border at the bottom. Okay. So okay, that's all about borders. But possibly you can just combine them as really shown as we were starting, whereby you can use border, then insert 2px solid, and then change the color, also then the style. All right, so that's all about borders. Margin, using the same example that we gave when you are discussing borders, this is what we have. This is now our content. Now we want to show borders. Now to clearly show the borders, we can insert the border. You can insert the border and set it to something like 2px solid, 2px solid, and then by default is set to black. Right. Now we want to set the margin. You can set your margin to the left, to the right, to the top, to the bottom, and also you can have a shorthand for setting margin, whereby you can have, let's say, margin, then you can set it to 20 pixels. All right, so margin, you click and refresh, you see this your content is pushed here. So the margin now is this distance from here to where you have your content all round. So all round is set to 20 pixels. Right, you can change this one to something that's like 50. So you see, so it is pushed here. All round is set to 50 pixels. All right, now let's see how you can set your margin to the right, to the left, to the top, and also to the bottom. So margin left, so you can set margin left. Margin left, you can set it to 40 pixels. All right, 40 pixels. You see that this distance here has increased. All right, this distance here. So now you can also set margin to the right. Let's give it 80 pixels. Then you see this content is pushed from the other side, or this side, what we have to the right. So this one, this distance here increases. Now you can also set your margin to the top. Okay, this is top, whereby you set it to 100 pixel or the 80 pixel. So you see this distance here has increased from here to here. So your content is pushed here and down. So it's set. Then you can also set the margin to the bottom, which is for now is not more important because of a large space here, you see. So this distance has been pushed over there. Then we'll say that you can have general, or you can set using margin, just margin. You can set your content or your margin around your content with just a few clicks. Now you can also set your margin to auto. It will automatically set to default margin all 4 margins by the browser. So if you set it to auto, so I'll just, let's say this is margin, let's say margin and you set it to auto. You say that it will be set by default, by default. So this is by default, set by the default to all side of the four sides. Right, now you can also use percentage. Actually, you can also use percentage, so you can use 10%. See, so this is how you see that. So that's 10%. You can use 10%. You can also use pixel, and that's all about matching. Thank you. Paddings in HTML. So this is padding. So you can have, okay, we have double D here. So padding in CSS. Now, at this point, using the same example here, and similarly to how we are inserting margin, we'll set padding to our content here. We'll set, so this is our content now. This is our content, how it appears. Right. So we'll set padding using a shorthand, and also we'll also set padding to the left, to the right, to the top, and also to the bottom. Alright, now the bottom, or what you need to understand before we get started with the padding. Padding is the distance between the margin, the border, not margin, between the border and your content, between the border and your content. To other extent, or the other part is whereby between or from your margin to your content. So this distance between here to this part, it will be easy for you to understand because we have a border here. So this distance between here and your text here, this distance here, however, is what you call padding. All right, you can increase your padding. So let's say, for instance, you set the padding to something like, okay, this is padding, then you can set it to something like 15 pixel. You can set it to 15 pixel. So you see the distance around your content here has increased. The distance around your content here has increased. Nice. Somehow, without the border, you may see that padding and the margin are almost working the same. You see? Now, you can either set your padding into pixel or percentage. Let's say, for instance, you set it to 10%. Let's say set it to 10%. Now you click here and you should see the distance here around is set to 10%. Now, the other part we were discussing is that you can set your padding to the left. You can set your padding to the left, whereby you set it to 30 pixel. You can set it to 30 pixel actually. So you click and refresh. You see this distance here. This distance here has increased. This distance there has increased. You can change it to something else like, okay, you can change it to 50 pixel. Right. So this distance here, you see is increasing. It's increasing. You can set it to something like, let's set it to something like 80 pixel. You see the distance here is still increasing. Now you see your content is pushed to the right when you set your margin to the left. Right. Now when you set your match or your padding to the right, then your content is pushed to the left. You see this distance here has increased. Now you can also set your margin to the top. You can set your margin to the top. Then click and refresh. You see this distance here between your content and your margin has really increased. It's really increased. Now you can set your padding here to the bottom. Click and refresh. You see this distance between here and your content here has really increased. Right. Now you're seeing how you can set your padding to the 4 sides, and also setting padding using the shorthand, which is padding. Then you can specify the size of the padding in either pixel, in either PC, in percent. You can also set into ph, and that's all about what we call padding, right? Now, thank you. Let's discuss CSS list. Lists are used for numbering. The same way you can use bullets, the same way you can use numbers, Romans to number your work. The same way we'll discuss here using CSS, how you can put or insert list style on your, or you can number your work on your website or your web pages. All right, now this numbering is used to enable your work look more presentable to those who are reading, and to have a certain order. Right, now for instance, we can say, we can use, let's say this is what you can use this link. So this one is used, let's say for instance you just need to write HTML, and you can just copy this. All right, let's copy this. All right, this is copy this. Okay, okay, let's have that. Then you click here and refresh. You see that there's numbering, you see that there's some bullets inserted here, there's some bullets inserted here. Now in this part, or in this module, we'll discuss how you can insert various list style type and also the position. Okay, so first of all, what you need to create, you can write a paragraph here and say, let's say for instance we want to say these are languages that we will learn. We'll learn here, right? Then you can have this UL. Okay, then in between there you can have now your li that are used for links. Then you can say that this is what, first of all you have Java, then you can just copy this, you can just copy that and paste there. You'll have HTML, you'll have now JavaScript. Okay, then lastly we can have what, Python. All right, then after that you click here and refresh. You see there are some numbering here. You see that this is a language that we learn. You see Java, you see they have a certain order and they have bullets, so you can see the order. Now in between here where you have your UL, now you say use style, and you'll need to put a style tag. You see this is now inline CSS, whereby I'll say list style. So you can have list style type, and then you can have either circle, you can have either square, you can have lower Roman, you can lower alpha. You see, so let's have lower Roman, right? Then you click here to refresh. You see that it changes to lower Roman, whereby you have this is 1 to 4. All right, then you can change this one. You can change this one to something else like square. You can change this one to square, whereby if you click and refresh, you see that this is a square. All right, then for the circle, you'll have Now this is circle. You see that this is circle now. Good. You see that this is a squares now. Alright. You can have something else like lower Roman alpha. Lower alpha. If you have that one, then you click and refresh. You see that this is what? A, B, C, D. Alright, this is a lower Roman. So there are various types of list style. Alright, so these are list style type. So you can also have something else we call list style position. List style position. So list style position you can have either outside or inside. Alright, so let's say for instance here you have what? You have lower alpha, then you'll have now outside. It's outside, then you'll have a semicolon there, and you'll click here. Okay, let's run that. Position. Alright, this is list style position. You'll have outside, then you click there and you'll have now. You see this is outside, that is normal. So you can have inside. You can have inside now. You see the difference? It has pushed inside. Alright, it has pushed inside. So outside is by the default, so inside it has pushed inside. Nice. Right, you see the difference now. So on the other one, and the last part of this tutorial or this module now is what we call now the shorthand, whereby you use a shorthand of list style. So you can now use the combined like you can combine the position and also the type. So to combine them, we'll have now list style, then you'll have square. You can have something else like square inside, you see. Now those are the combined. Those are combined. Okay, this is inside, so you'll have it at this point where you'll have an inside square. Right, you'll have an inside square. This is square. Okay, good. Inside square. Alright, so that's why you have an inside square. So at this point you don't insert a semicolon, so you have them at this point. So we'll say that inside square, then when you click on refresh, you see that it has changed to inside square. Right, and that's all. Scroll bars in CSS. Let's discuss scroll bars in CSS. Now here we are discussing scroll bars. Okay, good. Now for the scroll bars, now is when you insert or you find some cases when the characters you're writing exceeds the text box or the space allocated. You may now use the scroll bars to allow easy navigation and the rendering of the content inside there. Alright, now I know you have ever seen or you have seen scroll bars like this one. This is a scroll bar. You scroll down. So this is a scroll bar. You see here you have a scroll bar here down, so you scroll. So for the scroll bars now, to insert scroll bars here at this point, you see that you need to understand these terms. You'll have scroll, you'll have, okay, this is scroll. Okay, we'll have also outer, you'll have hidden, you'll also have visible. Right now for the scroll bars, or not scroll bar is scroll. In this case, the scroll bars are intended to allow the users to see the content when they scroll down. Now when you want to see the content when you scroll down, you use this one. So this is a scroll bar, right? Then for the auto, this one is, in this case, the scroll bar will be shown if the content does not overflow only, alright? If it does not overflow. Then for the hidden, the scroll bar are not visible at the borders of the containing element, right? Of the containing element. Then for the visible, the scroll bars are visible at the borders of the containing element. Alright, so these are the four terms that you need to understand, and we will use each to see how it works. Alright, now for this case, here you need now to create a div class, and you can name it scroll bars. Then at this point you can type. So now you have your type test here. Now you have your type test here. So this is your test now. Now you just need to insert borders. So you need now to come here at this point, style your CSS. Now you need now to scroll bars. Then you need now to style. Okay, this is scroll bar. Okay, this is scroll bar. So this is now what you are styling. We are styling this class name here at this point. Now at this point, you need now to insert the border. You can insert the border. Border you can use, let's say 2px solid, 2px solid, good. Or you can use something like blue. Alright. Now you can have the height. You can set the height to something like 300 pixels, and for the width you can set something like 250 pixels, right? Now you can also set the padding and also the display. You can now set your display to block. Okay, you can set the padding. You can set the padding to something like, let's say 10 pixels, right? Good. Then after that you click and refresh. See, this is now your content. Now how it is content. Okay, you can also reduce the height. To something like, let's set it to something like 200. Let's reduce it to 200 to fit here. Now you have your display there as padding and block, and then you'll have now your overflow. You use your overflow. This is where now you use your four terms: auto, hidden, scroll, or visible. Alright, let's say use scroll. Okay, let's reduce these things to have an overflow. Let's reduce this height to something like 100, and also the width to something like 80 pixels. Alright, so that's that sort. Okay, you see. Now I wanted something of this sort. Now you see that the scroll bars are inserted here. You see, they are inserted. You see, you can scroll to read your content. You can also scroll this other side. You can also scroll. So they are added. You have used out scroll. Alright. So now now for the auto, we have said that in this case the scroll bar will be shown if the content does not overflow only. Alright. So you see now for the scroll at this point, now you see auto. So because the content now has overflow, then in your container, then it should show the scroll bars. Now you can also use hidden. This is hidden now. You can use hidden. Now you see that, you see now the scroll bars have disappeared, right? You see the scroll bars now here have disappeared, and you're finding challenging when you're reading your content here. All right, so that's the importance of scroll bars, and probably I know you have seen them. I know you have seen them several ways in several places, website or content that you've been reading, and that's how you can possibly insert scroll bars in your content or your web pages. Now, thank you.